We're ready, sir.
We're going now back into open session. We're back in at what time, ma'am?
7:27.
7:27?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to open session items. We got, first let's go ahead and do the open session to take care of the closed session items. Got 6A, consideration to approve the employment of new professional staff.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the employment of new professional staff as discussed in close.
Your motion to that effect?
Motion.
Motion made by VP Cruz.
Second.
You second, sir? Okay. Second by Secretary Reynosa. Any questions or comments? All right, take the vote. All those in favor? And motion passes unanimously. Yes, 7-0. In action item 6D, no action will be taken. Let's go to 7A or 7 consent action items. A is consideration to approve the minutes for the board meeting held on July 10th, 2023, which is special, July 20th, 2023, regular. And possibly also consideration to approve the monthly bills for 2023. What month, ma'am? This would be
July, it would be July.
July?
Yes.
Those are the ones that we got today.
The minutes?
The minutes. Yes, so those are the ones you got today.
Do you need a motion, Mr. Bonilla?
Well, we're gonna do the word?
Remain in consent.
Huh?
Remain in consent. They remain in consent action.
All right, the consent, is that you're making a consent motion for A and B?
Yes, sir.
Okay, motion made by member Nora, I'm sorry, I'm making a notation. Nora Guerrero to do consent approval of A and B. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by member Sam Houston. Okay. Questions or comments? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously to do consent approval of A and B, 7A and 7B, 7-0 approved. All right, let's go to item A, 8, action item. 8A, discussion action to approve the use of the high school and parking around the school for the October Japanese American pilgrimage on Saturday, October 28, 2023. Ma'am?
Mr. Cruz would like to make a presentation to the board.
Yes, I've been in contact with the people that are part of the Japanese American pilgrimage. Carissa Tom, she's the one that's assisting the, I forgot his name, the main detainee that he was here back in the day when we had the Japanese internment camp. So they're asking for board support to allow the use of the high school facilities, especially the parking around the school for Saturday, 10/28. Also to provide a grab-and-go lunch for the program participants. They're anticipating between 150 to 250 people. So, and then allow them to visit the historical markers and then the original internment camp, including the housing foundation and the marker by the high school. And then the area to park, I guess, or to use that area at the main gate of the camp and the L-shaped building and swimming pool in that area. I think it's right behind the elementary.
L-shaped swimming pool? The L-shaped.
Building.
I guess ahí está.
No, that Tomas Rivera, the old.
Yeah, the L-shaped behind the new buildings of the.
So they want to pass it to the board, make sure the board is fine with it, and then go from there.
Any, yeah, questions, comments? All right, at this time, I'm entertaining a motion
For a,
to approve the use.
I motion it.
Motion made by member Ariel Espinosa to approve the use of the high school and parking around the school for the October Japanese American pilgrimage on Saturday, October 28, 2023. Gabriel Espinosa, make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by member Sam Houston.
Discussion, sir.
Discussion?
Where it says approve around the, high school parking lot and all that. Is there any way somebody can talk to the county judge to be able to use that parking lot? I mean, so I don't know about the high school one, I mean,
Is that a
Okay with
weekend or
that.
weekend?
I'm okay with that, but also I think the parking lot,
the nutrition,
the nutrition center
yeah.
is out there. Okay, I mean, we can go with that, but, maybe, I mean, because if it's gonna be that many people, I mean, that are coming,
I think they're coming in buses, if I'm not mistaken. They're gonna come in buses.
Yeah, but also for the community to go on the park, you know, go over there, be able to park there. Any other comments? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Motion passes unanimously 7-0. Okay, B, discussion action to approve the district to provide a grab-and-go lunch for the pilgrimage participants. I believe President Cruz Mata already gave an explanation in reference to that.
Yeah, we would, when I discussed it with Ms. Tom, they want something simple, finger foods, sandwiches, something quick. They don't want anything elaborate or anything like that because they wanna do kinda like a quick and go type of deal. So if the board is okay for the district to provide like sandwiches.
The ham and cheese sandwich, the one we get, the one we get athlete.
Yeah, those are good.
I motion.
So move, motion made by member Nora Guerrero to approve the district to provide a grab and go lunch for the pilgrimage participants.
I second it.
Second made by,
Gabriel.
yes, I know, right second, I couldn't remember how to write second. Second by, member Gabriel Espinosa. All right, any other comments or questions? I gotta say this at this point, I've also been in contact with, one member of the pilgrimage. His name is Victor Uno. He's been here before. I just want to put it on the record that he's my tocayo. He calls me tocayo, so that's my first name, people, in case you didn't know what my first name was. He's my tocayo. Okay, Gabe? Noted, duly noted. All right, let's go and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Motion passes unanimously, 7-0.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to action. Okay, hold up.
See,
Yes, let's go to action item 8C, discussion action to approve the proposed budget for the 2023-2024 school year.
I have a couple of questions, sir. I don't know about the other board members.
Let's go ahead and let Superintendent Bionis make her comments.
the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed budget for the 23-24 school year. Florencia, will you come forward for any questions?
The fund balance sheet.
It lags a year, please. It lags a year.
Let's go ahead and, well. Okay, Okay, sir, this in jest, understand if it's done in jest, and then we'll worry about a motion and second. No, it's up to you, sir. All right? No? You want to continue with the motion, sir?
Yeah, continue. We're gonna have discussion anyway, right, after that?
Yes, but would you entertain, just out of curiosity, sir, maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse, but if we second it, would you entertain at that time any possible alternate motions? Okay, all right, there is a motion on the floor to,
You know what, I rescind my motion.
Okay.
Make the presentation so you can have discussion.
there you go. Thank you, sir. All right, Ray, you have a question?
Yeah. Starting on this thing on page 4, Furnace,
What is that, the compensation plan?
composition plan,
What page are you on?
similar to the new one, I mean,
Page 4, you said? 4 or 5?
4. which
I'm there.
starts here, I don't know if the new one starts 4 or 5. It's this one here on the back, page 4.
That's page 4, yeah. that's-
Also the teachers there.
Right. It's got
I'm
the-
sorry?
It's got the teacher pay
Yes.
scale, okay.
Ma'am, on this one, we agree, a 3%.
That is what we're proposing, Mr.
They're proposing and that includes also a step increase. And I know this comes from TA, on the teachers, counselors, librarians, and nurses.
Registered nurse.
Since these people, are in this category, are the counselors working on 187, or we have more days for them?
No, the counselors work, I believe, 202, Robert? 202.
So they do get that extra.
Correct, they'll get their added days.
Okay, on page 5, let me see, on item number 5, or the pay grade 5. You have, all the principals, elementary, middle, junior high school.
Yes, sir.
Then on the next page, you have principal, high school, and AC. Is that a different person?
No, it's a principal, and the high school principal oversees high school and the AAC. That's the way it's worded that way.
So we don't need it here, or it's taken,
It's in both tables. High school principals in both tables.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it should be in 6.
because we have it, we still have it here.
It should be in 6, I'm sorry about that.
It should be
Yes.
what?
It should be in 6, in structures.
So we just have the high school, the junior high, and the elementary,
In 5,
not this.
not in 6, yes.
See what I saw here. On page 7, on the administrators, who are those?
AP1 are the administrators in this AP, in this one. The tables match their structure.
Which administrators, give an example.
It's an instructional technology specialist.
Right, that's where they,
Right.
okay,
The structure matches the pay table.
okay. And then, I mean, the rest is okay.
That transition is AP2,
I'm sorry? Yes,
like that?
because it's a specialized position.
Program secretary. Do the counselors have on page 14? Number 3, pay grade. Do all the counselors have a secretary?
Not all of them.
Why?
Because the counselor secretaries that we have are for the secondaries where they have, the campuses are bigger and their needs are greater.
So we don't need one for each counselor? secretary?
I don't know. I think they have enough support in the administrative offices,
Central office has a secretary for,
every department, yes.
so they need them,
Because we manage the district.
but the campus manage the campus. So who doesn't have one?
The elementaries,
None of them have a secretary? So who do they use? The principal secretary or?
or the receptionist, or the, or the,
I would like to see, I would like to see a secretary for all the campuses, but that's me only. Let me go on. Facilitators, principals, go. On that one, on number 14, also, in pay grade 1, you have special general resource 8. Would that be your,
these are the special aides that are doing inclusion, that are in the inclusion setting or that are in the resource setting.
and you have the physical education aid, so the teacher aides for the PE?
Correct.
I think they do a lot of work. I think they should be in pay grade 2. I don't know if we should combine 1 and 2, because I mean the aides and PE do a lot of work, but again, that's me. I'm going where? You did say that on the substitute bus drivers, you had included it.
Yes, sir. If you go to page,
The last one, 35.
35, there at the bottom of the page, we are proposing that their starting pay be increased by $2. They were paid $8.25 last year. We are proposing that we increase it to $10.25 an hour.
Is there any way we can go higher? I mean, these people are being offered.
Member, so that's our decision, it's just their recommendation. It's just our central office recommendation, it's really in our hands, am I correct, ma'am?
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's noting what I'm saying, so
Yeah?
by the time I'll make a motion or somebody, let me see on the other ones, the clerical, we have what, the, clerical, page 16. Okay. And the other clerical, and then the other clerical.
Can I ask something real quick? On page 15, we have a daycare, a director and a daycare.
Yes,
With the 3-year-olds, right?
yes.
Oh,
Half a day they go
Always had them.
with the daycare and half a day they go to instruction.
So, yeah, they do the other half day.
3-year-old program.
3-year-old program.
Who is our daycare director?
Well, we can't mention names.
An open session.
We're in open session.
Oh, we just,
But yes, we do have a director.
oh, I thought they just went full day, they were in
Well,
school.
they go full day, but they do full day pre-K3 and half day childcare, so that we can keep them all day.
On the, on page 24, I mean, you have, pay grade 1, 2, 3, 4. How much would be their pay, depending on what, experience or?
Their pay is dependent on their years of service and their structure.
And are you proposing a what, ma'am?
No, for this group,
There's no I mean, I don't see any,
Right,
for the hourlies, we are proposing a $1 increase per hour.
including these people here.
This group, yes, sir.
You said everybody, no? Except the temporary, and
Except for the substitute,
you
yes.
got $2 instead of $1.
So, the.
drivers.
Bus drivers.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were half a day daycare and half a day regular school. Do we get money from the state for a daycare? Do we get,
We get half ADA for our pre-K 3 program. And then the other half is paid through the early childhood allotment.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm on page now, 31.
31, yes, sir.
And it starts with English as a second language.
Okay,
After that, we have academic deans. TR, Ala,
and Benito, yes, sir.
and BJ getting a stipend of,
It's on page 30 on the new one.
getting a stipend of $5,000. Why? I mean, are they working a site there?
Because we've made their job description to be more instructionally driven, to help us push the campuses out of IR.
I'm waiting.
So how come you didn't include in their salary versus a stipend? Because I always believe that anybody that's gonna get a stipend has to work extra. I mean,
That's what it used to be.
and if we give them the 5,000 or include it, they're gonna be making as close as the principal. It's like I say, I mean, I think they're vice principals, but, I mean,
Well, they're salaried, and then a stipend is usually for extra duty.
and it's gonna be included during their working hours, so I don't agree with that. Okay, the rest ones, after the master teachers, we have special education, certified teachers. Those are the teachers that are in the resource room.
Or in life skills, or teaching.
On the first one, it's a special education certified teacher. So they get $1,000. And then you have your special education life skills, and they're getting 3,000.
Right, because those students require, these are our severe and profound students, and they require a very different level of.
Which I understand, but, last year, one of them, I mean, we did not recommend. Another one, you have to move her from there, and they still got the $3,000.
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, honestly, I don't see anything here, but I think that the ones that do a lot of work in the classroom are the paraprofessionals. There's the ones that, I mean, go and restrain those kids and
There is.
get kicked and all that. And I don't see, I mean, I would bring down the life skills, down to about 2,000 and maybe give something to the teacher rates. Because three of the people that we have here in life skills, and I know they require a lot, but like I said, we got rid of two, and one of them, I mean, was constantly traveling to go see the Spurs game and all that. And the same time bragging, I'm getting $3,000 as a stipend,
So
so
if we were to compensate the SPED paraprofessional team, what would your recommendation be in terms of stipend?
that would, I mean, I don't know, how many do we have
Cindy?
We have 18,
in life skills?
no, in life skills,
I'm saying that life skills because that's where you have those kids that really, they punch them, they get on the floor, they have to carry them, and,
Change them if they have to.
I mean, it's tough for the I see the teacher rates, I mean, when there's something happening in the classroom, the teacher will tell the aide, go take care of it, go take care of it. When those kids need to go to the restroom, it's the aides that are going to the restroom, not the teacher. I mean, so,
And I agree with you, they're phenomenal. They are
I
phenomenal.
don't know, I would recommend about $1,000
So
for them.
there's about 18 in the life skills.
In the
One
life-
unit can have 5, another unit has 4, and it depends on the number of students and the level of care that they require.
And the other thing that I see there,
Mr. Bonilla, really quick, can we keep it at care and not go into detail what these kids go into? You know, on the daily basis, I think that's like personal.
the-
Can we say care instead? Just be careful with our language, I mean, we are in open session.
and the other thing, I mean, that you have there on on the special education life skills, it says certified up to 3. Why only 3? Talking about 3 teachers?
No, the up to 3 goes with the next one. The up to 3 days goes with the special education case manager.
Okay, case manager?
Yes, up to 3 days in addition to.
So why the salary 1,000 for the case manager and,
It's a stipend.
It's a stipend.
It's a stipend.
and then the new one that we have is, beginning teachers, content mentors?
That's not new. That's been in the compensation plan.
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna have mentors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just hope that the mentors that are selected by the principals or people that are competent and really can help the new teachers because they really need it. And coordinator, it's okay.
Hey, let's take a pause and let's get, Gabriel.
Make a recommendation or,
I need to finish, sir.
no, go ahead.
I'm almost finished. Híjole, go ahead because I lost my.
Make a recommendation for right now, wait till Friday.
For what, sir?
For the maintenance, substitute maintenance, cafeteria worker and transportation, instead of 1025, go to 1225.
So you're proposing that we raise service up to 1225?
For the maintenance, cafeteria, transportation, substitute worker, from 1025 to at least 1225.
Because actually, what is it right now? It's
Do
at
you want
what?
to wait, I mean, do you want to
Okay,
wait, let
let's put a
Mr.
pause and let's go ahead.
Espinosa finish so that we can move over this
When we
section?
get to the maintenance again,
When we get to what?
the maintenance people again, then we'll,
Well, I just need the athletic and I'm done.
okay, ma'am, let's go ahead and go to the maintenance and then we can look at the,
Can I just finish with the athletic?
let's go
My
ahead.
question's for an athletic too, Mr. Bonilla.
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish with Gabriel.
But I was the one that was,
Focus on
I
the,
was the one, I mean, that was recognized first. He can wait.
Yeah.
I'm almost done. I'm almost
sir,
done.
you gave the floor to him, okay?
No, I don't, I'm learning. Go ahead.
He did give you the floor, sir.
He's giving it back to me, sir.
I didn't hear that.
Give it back to me.
Not yet.
No, go ahead.
Okay, now he's giving it back, all right.
On the, athletic,
Yes, sir.
on the athletic director, you did combine, the head football coach, right?
For football, yes.
Not giving him 8,000 plus 5,000 more.
No, it's athletic director /
So we're cutting that head boot coach because he's gonna be,
he's both.
okay, so that's fine. And then I think we recommended all head coaches to get
Correct, and you see all the corrections made.
Same on the golf coach.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
would like to put them at 5,000, like all the other coaches, head coaches. The head golf coach only was at 2,500. I think it should be at 5,000 too. You know, they do a lot of tournaments. Their district tournament is a 2-day tournament. They do the regional tournament, and, you know, they've even gone as far as the state.
They went state, I mean, they went up
Yeah.
to state.
And they travel to Carrizo to practice. You know, creas, our golf program is pretty big. I mean, we got from 10 to 12 in the ladies and another 10 to 12 on the gentlemen. So I think that, you know, he's been overlooked, so if y'all would agree, I think we should put any other head coach at 5,000.
Can we do something for the sped aids?
And then one more, Mr., is that okay? If y'all could.
Yeah, I'm not- I'll-
And then on the band director, the assistant, I know that we had changed it, but if y'all could reconsider, because, we have a hard time attracting band teachers. And we gotta remember that, you know, I don't want our band to feel that we are overlooking them or leaving them behind again or anything. And I think we should keep it at 7,000, only because the assistants, they work almost all year. I mean, in June, they're back at work again with, summer camps with the kids, and the director expects them to be there. The director can't do it alone. So, I don't know, I just feel that.
I agree with that. I mean, there's an assistant, but he's an assistant all
It's a
year.
lot of kids. I think that, I mean, if y'all agree that we should keep it at 7,000
Okay.
as it was. And
Did you get
that's-
one?
Sure.
Did you get my recommendation?
No, we're,
Not, we're not.
Are we-
Well, what?
Okay, for the substitute,
Last page.
it's on page 35, instead of 10.25, 12.25 an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we done with the athletic, the stipends and the band director stipends?
Well, like on page 33, the performance pay, teacher incentive allotment, aren't we kind of ahead of ourselves because we haven't gotten that far yet to be approved?
Robert?
And I know it's but our application has been approved. We got our work back from TA, and we have been approved for the data collection year. However, it does take a year of collecting the data, which will be all this entire year, and then we'll submit it, and then we'll have to be approved, next year to see if we actually get the allotment. But as far as progressing and actually our application being accepted, it has been.
But this is your recommendation, that 10% go to the campus and 90 go to the teacher?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
From TA.
And that's what will happen in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
A
We
lot
can
of,
always go back and amend it, later on, but this is the recommendation, starting point from playing. So
And is this for all grade levels?
for all tested, grade levels, yes. Yes, sir.
can you give me a water, please? Can't stand up, my butt hurts.
Okay. I did take,
All right,
I did take
now,
it.
Gabe, let's go to yours on page 35. You're recommending that the substitute, the temporary substitutes for maintenance, cafeteria, and transportation, which is bus drivers, that you're recommending $12.25 an hour?
Yes, sir.
Is there a consensus on that?
Only on the temporary?
Yes.
Bottom of page 35.
The recommendation is proposed, it's $10.25 an hour.
Okay, how much are our regulars getting an hour?
That would be the other ones are on a pay scale, and they are gonna get a
What, proposed $1.
$1 increase.
What would be the starting pay for them, Mr. Ernest?
You would have to go back to, yeah, to PA,
To be fair to our regulars.
we would be, if they're starting with 0 experience, their daily rate would be, if you all approve the proposal, their daily rate would be $96 with
How much?
0 experience. $96 a day.
How much is that per hour?
What page is that on?
That would be $12 an hour. I'm on page 25.
Those are
And that's for the first pay structure, the bus aide. The regular bus driver would be on 5.
full-time employees, Ms. Gomez? Is that what you're saying, $96 a day, that's what our full-time employees make?
If they're if they're just bus aides on MC1, but if they're full bus drivers, they would be on MC5. And their beginning rates, if you approve the $1, they would begin at $16.87 a day, an hour, I'm sorry, for a daily rate of 126.96.
So if we go with what Mr. Espinosa said.
They'll be right under.
Okay.
They'll be right under.
But not the, what about the maintenance and cafeteria workers?
Yeah, that's,
They would be, the 1225 would put them at, if we were to table them, which we won't put them in a table because they're substitutes, they would be in MC1, year zero. We would have to have them all at year zero. And they're 25 cents over what a year zero would make on the table. Structure one.
Is there any way that we can put all the paraprofessional employees that are getting below $15, put them all at 15?
And we would have to go back and redo all the salary tables. We can propose it for next year, but not for this year.
Why not for this year?
Because the budget has to be approved by the 30th.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Last year we approved it about 2 days before.
We have to make sure that we have enough funding in all the funding sources, local,
We
state.
said we
and-
have $3 million on some money.
Yeah, but ESSER can't pick up all the positions.
It's only,
ESSER is
I counted it
specific to
only
COVID.
about 12 people, 13 people. But sometimes, I mean, I feel some of those people are staying very behind. And then I see all these extra duty people, or people who are making 75,000 and this and that, getting $5,000 extra duty pay. I hear, the testing coordinator, he's got a full-time job. And he's getting another $5,000. For that, and these people barely surviving at $12 an hour.
So by when do we need to adopt the budget, man?
By the 31st, correct?
We're not having a special meeting Friday. It couldn't.
On Friday is September 1st.
It would have to be done by Thursday. And we'd have to post an emergency meeting if we can, that would fall under this. The budget falls under emergency.
Or the other thing we can do is take the 12 that Ray is talking about. We'll look for the 12 and negotiate a salary for them.
And we haven't
without having to change
seen
the
the scores yet to see if we're getting our bang for our buck.
I agree with him. Our hourly workers are staying. And I know some people say, well, they don't have degrees and all this. It doesn't matter. They're doing the work they're supposed to.
If we're going to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Gabriel.
But we'll have to compensate them for them. The cost of living, they're not staying up with it. Inflation is going crazy, and we have to give them. Administrators already make a lot. Say that y'all retire. You're gonna retire, go to Hawaii. These poor guys are barely, making a living. So we really, if you really care about them, we really have.
That's why we're proposing the increases that we're proposing.
I'm gonna say this much, that, if we're going to try to even the compensation, then we cannot just focus on some of the people that get extra duty pay. We have to look at all of it across the board, okay? Everybody that gets extra duty pay, and see, if we have to make a hard decision of lowering some of that extra duty pay and shifting that money into employees that are professionals. That would increase, that would give us the monies to increase.
But this could have been talked about a long time ago, but we were not included in the budget talks. So this is the first time we're seeing it. And that's up to the board to approve it.
Sure. And I'm not saying, take the stipend away, but where can we find? If you look at this,
I'm not taking away stipends, I'm saying to reduce the stipends. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
well, I recommend some to be reduced, but it's gonna be,
Yeah, well, it's up to the board, the majority of the board.
but if I go to this, almost all of them are making already 15, 14, 34. There's about one or two, 16 an hour, 15 an hour, 17 an hour. 18 an hour. I mean, it's gonna be, I think, the first, the clerical paraprofessionals, table one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, those are the, we don't know how many people we have there. We might have 1 or 2 people there. And then on this one, it's 14, 10. They only need like 80 cents to get to 50. And I counted about 7 to 10 employees that are still below, it's not like it's a lot of people.
Okay, ma'am, what did you had made a comment? Ms. Morris?
So you can do multiple things. If you're just looking solely at the paraprofessional. Okay, we can recommend that the paraprofessionals that you're talking about that are in pay structure
Only
one,
clerical.
because for structure one, you're looking at special ed and resource aides, PE aides, and childcare aides. Okay, if you're talking about classroom teacher aides, the ones that work directly with the students, they are on pay table 2, on table 2, and their year 0 of experience is already at $15.10.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Right, but the table is already like that.
Yeah,
So we shouldn't have to make any changes.
not there, only on the ones that are maybe $12.
Okay, for those, we can negotiate a salary without having.
Ones that are already making the 15,
Without having to change the tables, because the tables have to be equitable.
well, I mean, you could move them to table 2.
No, we'll negotiate it without moving them from table, because the tables are written by position as per TASB. So we would negotiate a salary.
Fine.
That's okay? All right.
Yeah, that's,
I had a question on that.
Okay, ma'am.
Do we have employees that, full-time employees, Ms. Jones, that have been employed with us for less than 5 years?
Full-time employees that have been employed.
There in those areas of transportation, bus.
We would have to take a look at every single pay memo.
so if that, should that happen, and we go with that recommendation, then, Gabriel's recommendation that the temporaries,
I have it.
maintenance,
I have his
cafeteria,
recommendation
transportation, that they could be raised to 12.25?
Correct.
Okay.
So those 12.25 would be under
Question.
what our employees, full-time employees are getting, correct?
Is it doable? I hear what
If
all you're
they're
saying.
12 employees, if they're 12 employees that we have to negotiate, it's doable.
Without hurting our budget.
It is, it's a good one.
We do have to be very cautious, not with salary. The salary tables are very equitable. They're legit. We have to be careful with stipends. We have to be careful with stipends. The total amount of money, we want to compensate everybody. But when you are paying $200,000, $300,000 in stipends, that you could easily
Well,
put it back in the
that's what I'm
classroom.
saying. I mean, that, like the vice principals, I mean, you're recommending 5,000. I don't see why they should be getting 5,000.
So is your
They're
recommendation?
doing their work. I don't believe that a person that is hired for this job and has to do this job is also getting a $5,000 stipend. They should do the stipend within their work.
So-
It's like the principals, I mean, you're getting so much money and they have to do this, that, stay till 7. Well, that's part of their job. I mean,
Like-
why should we give the vice principals?
I agree with
$5,000.
Ray, like when we
It's-
had Miss Puente and she was doing counseling and she was doing this, I do think that deserves a stipend because she's going beyond the realm of what her job description is. But when people.
That's why I want to mention names, just say we just use the position, or we had one that was doing this and that.
And I agree with Ray, when people are already being paid a good amount of money for a position, some of that money could be used to compensate these other people, and I do agree, that's a very hard job for those paraprofessionals in those classrooms.
I'm in agreement. You were explaining that a academic dean is like a vice principal, so.
I mean, why? And there's other people there, I mean, that I mentioned, I don't believe that the life skills should be getting 3,000, maybe 1,500. The regular ones are getting 1,000, this one's 1,500, or save us a little money there. And I hope we don't have, I think now we have good teachers, in special ed, in the life skills program. And I think they will be satisfied with 1,500. And if they do a good job, next year we can give them an extra 500, because I mean, last year we had a problem with, they were absent a lot, we had to get rid of some, and, they still got their $3,000 stipend.
Okay, are we ready, Mr. Chairman?
Any other comments?
I need a clarification on page 31.
Yes, ma'am.
We said that let's start with my question, AD. He's going to get the 8,000, correct?
Yes,
Plus his football, correct?
correct.
Okay. And assistant girl, she's gonna get her, stipend and then her head football coach too, right? Like, for example, the assistant, the volleyball head coach too, right?
For volleyball.
Uh-huh, yeah, like, we're not just gonna give her one because
She gets it,
right, she gets.
one for being a head coach.
Okay, I just wanted to get clarification that the AD will get the head football coach and the athletic director, and, okay.
And so will
And her.
the female, yes.
All right, okay. That was all of the clarification.
Veronica, and all those that we have in red, I mean,
That's what we had, when we looked at this on Monday, that's what we had last year. And then what you have in black is what you all recommended, on Monday.
so are there any positions here that are vacant? For example, you have CNI at 100,000.
Those positions are vacant, so there is no salary going into
So-
those positions.
So that salary is not part of the budget, and we can take,
No,
I mean, because
we did not budget for
Also have a-
or the CFO, not in payroll.
maybe, when we get it, take them off, because it's looking like we have a financial officer at,
Remember that these are the salary tables. We have to have all the positions posted, but that doesn't mean that they're filled. They're just, if we should have one, that's where they would be. But no, they're not filled, and no, there's no dollar amount to
have
them,
money for, in case we get them.
if we should, yes.
So that's $200,000, I don't think we're gonna approve.
Ma'am, I just have one, I mean, I've been trying to figure this one out.
Yes, sir.
Right under the, AD head
Page?
coach,
Page.
page 31. It's, the second heading says, assistant girls, assistant coach,
It's assistant, it's just a coach,
just assistant coach.
yes. Assistant girls coach.
For volleyball?
No, for all female sports.
But the other assistant coaches get,
She's the assistant to the athletic director, to the AD. That's why that dollar amount is there.
she's a,
Assistant to the athletic director. That's that second one. But then the rest of the sports that she leads, she gets her head coach stipend
she's the assistant
to the AD for female sports.
Maybe we need to get with the proper title or something. Okay, all right. You got the proposed changes, ma'am?
Yes, I'm gonna read them to you. So we're gonna, and these are not in order, I just wrote them out. We're gonna, the recommendation is that we remove the academic dean stipend, that we offer a special ed paraprofessional stipend of $1,000, that we increase the head golf coach stipend to $5,000, making it equitable with all the other head coaches, that we increase the assistant band directors back to the original 7,000, temporary hourlies, increase their pay, to $12.25. That we negotiate salary for certain paraprofessionals that are making less than $15 an hour. And that special ed, STEM life skills stipend be reduced from $3,000 to $1,500.
That's doable.
Yes, with those modifications.
Yes.
It's good.
So that's the compensation plan, not the budget. So the budget is still yours.
So now we go to,
Did you mention mine?
Yes, 1225.
so,
And it's gonna be, sorry, excuse me, sir, and it's gonna be a appropriate amount because we're paying the ticket takers, pass gate at $12.50. I mean, so that's close enough.
Yeah.
Right, sir.
so we don't have any retention stipends money.
We're not in the conversation at this moment. Because we want to make sure.
First in October.
You may.
Correct,
Yes,
yes.
you may. Definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bonilla, the recommendation was that we approve the budget for the 23-24 school year.
Okay, is there a motion to go with the recommendation by the superintendent?
Including the recommendations that we just reviewed.
Where are we at, C?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mata? We're in C, and recommendations have been made that we adopt the proposed budget with the listed changes. So I'm asking for a motion. So I know you made a motion before. I don't know if you want to add.
A motion.
Motion made by VP Cruz Mata to approve the recommendation. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second made by member Peggy Young. Any comments or questions? Anybody?
Comment?
Your comments, that's what I'm at.
Comment? Don't send me another copy because I might come with more change. Hey, I read it all, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it's about, I mean.
We appreciate your input.
We
sir.
appreciate
I know I do,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Anybody else, comments?
It's just that you try to, it's just that we try to accommodate the work they do. I mean, we don't want them to think it goes unnoticed, and it's hard.
Mr. Mata, you have any comments?
No.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. Okay. D, there's no action taken. E, discussion action to adopt the resolution to, to adopt
Back to
the,
D.
excuse me?
D?
No, D is no action. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh, sorry. Okay. D, discussion action to approve the resolution to adopt the 2023 maintenance and operations tax rate.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution to adopt the 23 maintenance and operations tax rate set at 0.0675300.
I move.
So we are going to be, there's a motion made by, made by member Nora Guerrero to approve the recommendation. And what is the recommended tax rate, ma'am?
0.0675300.
Okay, is there a second?
No?
0.6.
0.6.
0.675.
That's what I said.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second made by VP Cruz Mata. Okay, comments, questions?
Question,
All right,
so you mentioned that that we're approving, it's a little lower than last year, or?
Yes, sir. The combination of both your M&O and your INS is lower. The total will be 0.963957. compared to last year, which was 1.4. So yes, it is.
1.14.
Okay, now, in speaking specifically about the maintenance and operation, last year's rate was 0.8546. And this year, we're looking at adopting a 0.675. Three.
0.288657.
No, that's.
No,
the-
that's
the
for
interest and sinking
INS.
fund.
He's talking about
We're not
M&O.
talking about that, we're talking about the
M&O.
maintenance and operation.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, so it is less than last year's, or the current year's.
Correct.
Now, any comments or questions? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. 7-0. Okay, E, discussion action to adopt the resolution to adopt the 2023 interest and sinking tax rate.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees adopt the resolution to adopt the 2023 interest and sinking tax rate at 0.286657.
I move.
Motion made by member Guerrero to approve the recommendation. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by VP Cruz Mata. Discussion? You understand why there was no change in this one. Our debt indebtedness is basically the same. We make monthly, yearly payments, and in order to meet the monthly payments, we have to maintain the same tax rate, which is 0.288657. Everybody understands that? All right, and no other questions? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes, yes, 7-0 unanimously.
Sorry, who seconded the motion?
It
Cruz
was
Mata.
made by Nora and seconded by Cruz Mata.
Thank you.
Okay, F, discussion action to approve the resolution to adopt the 2023 total tax rate.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution to adopt the 2023 total tax rate at 0.963957.
Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by member Nora Guerrero. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by VP Cruz Mata. Comments or questions?
Questions again, lower or is the same?
Yes, sir. The total tax rate for last year was 1.143257. This year, it is 0.963957.
It's under $1 per 100. Right.
Florence, before the vote, can you just clarify the rates for M&O, INS, and the total tax rate, please?
Definitely. The M&O tax rate sets our tax rate so that we can generate enough funding for our maintenance and operations, for the operations of the entire school district. That includes salaries and the like. Our interest in sinking tax rate generates enough funding for us to pay for our debt service, which is the payment on the bonds that we have purchased in order to make our monthly payments and annual payments on a yearly basis.
But give us the rates one more time. I want to make sure that I got them correct.
Yes, ma'am. So the proposed rate for our maintenance and operations for this coming school year is 0.675300. Our tax rate for our interest and sinking fund is 0.288657. Combined together, our total tax rate will be 0.963957.
Thank you, Florence.
Yes, ma'am.
We're ready for the vote, Mr. Chairman.
Comments, questions? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. And the total amount, again, please, for the record, say the total tax rate.
Young had a question?
The total tax rate will be 0.963957.
Ma'am?
No, I was motioning.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes, yes, unanimously, 7-0. G, discussion action to approve the final budget amendment for the 2022-2023 school year. Ma'am?
Lindsay, do you want to go over it before we put it to vote?
This is our final budget amendment for the school year. What we're doing here is we are making sure that all of our line items by function are on the positive end of our expenditures. So what we're doing is these budget amendments that you all approve will close the books for this academic school year, the 2022-2023 school year.
Which will be, August
31st.
Yeah,
1st. It's closed.
Yes.
What is the amount?
So, Mr. Cepeda, if you look and come back to us in September, October and say that it's doable, paras and all that, isn't it better if we do a budget amendment and then you trying to bring it all together at the end of the year? I mean, legally, don't you have to do budget amendments as you go along?
We do have to do budget amendments. One of the really good things about this is doing it at the end of the school year is that we now have all of our total expenditures and we can do the budget amendments that we need and close out the books and ready to go for our audit. So that this prepares us for our audit that is coming up very quickly here. As far as giving, as you were mentioning, giving stipends and all and the like, we want to make sure that we close the books in order to actually see exactly where
What money you have?
Yes, sir.
I don't think that would preclude us from, if let's say we were to look at stipends, it would preclude us from doing an amendment in December.
Oh, exactly. No, this amendments to the budget is always up to the board, right?
So what is the amount that you're recommended that we,
Yes, so for function 31, we are distributing those $500,000 into the next function 12, instructional resources, function 13, curriculum development.
oh, okay.
21 and so forth down the line. And function 23, we're moving $210,000 into general administration. And out of function 11, we're moving $690,000 into those functions throughout to close out the books.
So nothing of what you said is surplus for next year.
One more time.
The figures that you gave us, they're not going into the next school year. This is just,
This year,
to close that and whatever we owe.
Yes,
Yes.
close out the books. Yes.
So we're looking at a total of 1.4 million. Okay.
Okay, the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the final budget amendment for the 22-23 school year.
Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by VP Cruz, Mata, seconded by member Nora Guerrero. Comments, questions? All right, let's go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. All right. Number 9, information discussion. A, accountability 2023. I believe we have,
Mr. Moreno.
okay, spring 2023 star performance, AF accountability, August update.
All right,
Go ahead, Matthew.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass
Thank you,
out.
sir. Oh, first, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Water.
I go ahead and.
Thank you, Matthew.
I'm right here.
I don't know if I like to.
I like the color of your shirt.
Thank you. All right, so before you, this first part, before we jump into the second part, 'cause I'm also doing the accountability part on the next one. But before we jump into that, we're gonna look at the STAR scores. So these are the STAR scores that we did present, that we did get, on August 11th. So we did already receive final scores from the state. So, as you can see, we have grade 3, mathematics, and grade 3, reading and language arts. All of our math is gonna be in red, all of our RLA is gonna be in blue. So you can see it's broken down by total tests, our number of approaches, number of beats, and our number of masters. So the way that I created this report is our total test, for example, in 3rd grade math is 124. So of those 124 students who took the test, 75 of them were at approaches. Of those 75, 32 were at meets, and 7 were at masters.
I was hearing during some of our training, we're not gonna get the points for approaches that we got last year?
I mean, I haven't heard difference. I mean, approaches is still passing.
Okay, so where did I hear that we might not be getting the points for?
Maybe in close the gaps. Probably in closing, and probably the closing gap domain, because closing the gaps domain is meets only. So it starts at meet. So that could be somewhere around there. That's
Okay.
But yeah, for domain 1, student achievement, approach is still the same.
The raw score is different,
Yeah, the raw score is
but
different.
not the points.
Yeah, not the point.
Thank you, Robert.
So you can kind of look through that all the way through. So you can see in grade 3 RLA, we had 124 students, so everybody tested, I believe, in 3rd grade reading and math. About the same, just proportion, 76, 35, and 17. So our kids got a little bit more mastery in the reading. And that kind of holds true all the way through 4th grade and 5th grade. If you kind of look, nothing really changes until you get to 5th grade. We do add the science, which is in green. The science table is in green. 116, those 116, 65 of them at approaches. Of the 65 that got approaches, 26 were at meets, and 6 were at masters. And that kind of holds true all the way up until 8th grade, when we have math, the reading, science, and social.
Can you go through all the grade levels?
Sure, I can definitely go through all the grade levels. So grade 4, we have grade 4 mathematics. We had a total test of 131. Of those 131, 76 were at approaches. Of the 76 who were at approaches, 32 were at meets, and 8 were at masters. Grade 4, reading language arts, 130, so we did have one student who did not take the reading test, who took the math test. Of those 130, 69 were at approaches, 23 were of those 69, 23 were at meets, and 8 were at masters. Grade 5 mathematics, total tests, 116. So of those 116, 65 are at approaches. Of those 65, 26 are at meets, and 6 are at masteries. In grade 5 RLA, or reading language arts, we had a total test of 116. Of those, a number of approaches were 70. Of those 70, 29 were at meets, and 9 were at mastery. Grade 5 science, number of students, the total test was 116. Number of approaches were 65. Of those 65, 26 were at meets, and 6 were at masters. Grade 6 mathematics, the total number of tests were 106. The number at approaches were 73. Of those 73, 20 were at meets, 1 was at mastery. 6th grade reading language arts, 106 total tests. 69 were at approaches. Of those 69, 26 were at meets, and 2 were at mastery. Grade 7 mathematics, total test was 124. Of those, oh yeah, that's, sorry, no, you're good. That's a part B. Number of approaches were 65. The number of beats were 28, and the number of masters were 3. Grade 7 reading language arts, the total number of students were 124. The number of approaches was 79. Of those 79, 36 were at meets, and 8 were at mastery. Grade 8, the total tests were 111, because we do have grade 8 algebra students. So 111, of those 111, 74 were at approaches, meets, of those 74, 28 were at meets, 3 were at masters. Grade 8 reading language arts, number of students, 126, so there's 126 eighth graders. There's 15 that took algebra, so we'll get to those in a minute, of course. Number at approaches, 83. Of those 83, 32 were at meets, 10 were at masters. Grade 8 science, 126 total tests. Of the 126, 63 were at approaches. Of those 63, 27 were at meets, 7 were at masters. Number of students in grade 8 social studies, again 126. Of those 126, 66 were at approaches. Of those 66, 38 are at meets, and 11 are at masters. The end of course report kind of gets a little bit more trickier, not so much on the grade 8 algebra. We have a total of 15 students take algebra 1 as in grade 8. Of those 15 of them did approaches, so we had a 100% passing rate in grade 8 algebra 1. Meets, of those students, 13 of them were at meets and 8 were at masters. So as we look at algebra, English 1, English 2, and the rest kind of moving through, you'll see a first column, that's all of our testers. And the second set is our first-time testers, which means the students who are actually in the class this year. So our Algebra 1 all testers, we had 143. Of those 143, 90 were at approaches. Of those 90, 28 were at meets, and 4 were at masters. In our first-time testers, meaning these were the students who were actually in the class this year with our teachers, we had a total of 108 students. Of those 108 students, 76 were at approaches, 28 were at meets, and 4 were at masters. English 1, a total test of 181 for all testers. Of those 181, 108 were at approaches, meets were at 72, and masters were at 8. English 1, our first-time testers, meaning they were in English 1 this year, total test 135. Of those 135, 98 were at approaches, 70 were at meets, and 8 were at masters. And English 2, we had a total test of 168. Of those 168, 109 were at approaches. Of those 109, 68 were at meets, and 6 were at masters. So our English 2 first-time testers, meaning they were in the class this year, 152 total students. Of those, 102 were at approaches, 67 meets, and 6 masters. The total test for biology for everybody, 139. Number of approaches is 110, number of meets, 47, and the number of masters was 5. Biology first-time testers, meaning they were in that biology class, 130. Of those 130, 107 were at approaches, 46 at meets, and 5 at masters. U.S. history, all testers, we had 119. Of those 119, 116 were at approaches, and the number of meets were 84, and the number of masters were 36. U.S. history, after we did get our summer scores in, we had a total test of 118 for a passing rate of first-time testers 118, which means he met 100%. All of his students passed the U.S. history.
I'm confused. If 119 tested, 116 are at approaches, that's...
He had three that didn't pass at the very first time.
How do you have that many meeting?
He did that well.
Yeah.
It has 184 who got meets.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 84 that got
84,
meets.
yeah.
84 that got meets.
36 at master. I mean,
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, he did outstanding.
yeah.
Yeah, and then once they took him again in the summer, he was able to get those last 2 students to pass.
I have a question, I don't know if I can use it right now. Ms. You or Ms. Briones, I was reading in the legislative, if an 8th grade child wants Algebra 1, we must provide a teacher. Have we done that, or am I reading it wrong?
We have an Algebra 1 8th grade teacher.
If an 8th grade student wants to take high school
Well, if they're eligible.
Monday,
If they're eligible to take Algebra 1 at 8th grade.
so we have that already set.
Sir, based on your expertise of analyzing data, how do you see our scores?
I saw a lot of growth. We did see growth throughout most of them. I believe when I was looking at, when we were looking at the data, we did see, some grade levels did regress, but, that's kind of what we were expecting, some of the grade levels. But for the most part, especially in the EOCs, they did really well, right? Especially within the first-time testers, the ones that were actually in the classrooms. I think they did really well. I mean, go ahead.
Mr. Moreno, away from the EOCs, it all starts right here. How do you think these approaches are going to get us, you think even a C?
A C? It's hard to say. We're still working on accountability-wise. The state has released a couple things, but we're still waiting to see, relative performance in some other areas. So it's still going to take us a little bit of time to see when the state fully releases everything for us to be able to use that. But I mean, it just depends on the way the state, because I mean, as we'll see in a little bit, the accountability system has changed quite a bit. So we'll have to look at that.
So if the scenario is not good, which I don't think it is, what year of accountability will that put Zavala?
I'm not sure on that one.
That would be year 2 for them.
Year 2.
If they don't get out.
If they don't get out.
Because it's the year after COVID.
So there's that one. So then real quickly, we're going to go through, which is part B. Oh, I don't know if I have to jump to part B again.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go to the next one.
So part B is the A through F August update. So we're going to quickly go through the ratings and some of the changes that we saw. So again, when we kind of think of our 2022 rating and our 2023 upcoming rating, it's not going to be an apple-to-apple comparison. We're not going to be able to say, this is what we would have scored last year if, this is the way the test was. Because TEA did a whole refresh, and we're going to go through a couple of the changes, the major ones that are really going to impact us, that are going to affect the ratings. That's why we can't really use last year's as our, hey, this is where we were at, to guide us into this year, because it's completely different. Okay? So we have changes including in all 3 domains. There were changes in all 3 of the domains, domain 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, this year we did have a STAR 2.0 that came into effect, that where we were at 100% online with new item types, that whole everything that kind of came along with coming online with the new STAR test. All right, next slide. Okay, so for domain 1, student achievement, there were no changes in elementary, middle, and junior high schools in the actual calculation method. That stayed the same. Approaches meets masters, overall total test, that didn't really change. The big change that's really going to affect a lot of high schools, not just Richmond City, is the CCMR calculation. The CCMR calculation, of course, is our college and career readiness. So an example that I created here, which of course accounts for 40% of the score in domain 1. So in the 2022 rating system, and this is just a random number, we had 100 students that graduated. Of those 100 students, 60 of them gave us some sort of credit in CCMR. They had a raw score of 60. In the old accountability, that would have given us an A. In the new accountability, exact same scenario, now it gives us a C. So you can see that CCMR is really going to affect a lot of the high schools, because a lot of them were able to get this score really high, and that was going to give a big, when it comes to calculation points, was really good for them.
So this year, in order for any campus, high school campus, to get an A in CCMR, they needed to have scored an 88 or higher. So the A shifted from 60 to 88. That's a big gap, especially when you consider that CCMR is a lagging indicator. So we really can't do anything with the numbers from last year, current year. So that's been a big hurt to districts and high schools across the state.
And then also and I just noticed they talk about it, but that was the next one.
Sorry, I got ahead of you.
A lot of districts, we can't change it because it's already happened. This is for our 2022 graduates, not the graduates that just graduated. We had to get it from 2 years ago, pretty much. Okay. So that's the change to student achievement. To student progress and academic progress, go ahead. So there is a new transition table that was used to determine to model growth. And you want to take it one more time? There it is. So that's the table right there. So as you can see, we're given points based on even if a student didn't pass and they still didn't pass, we were given points. So we kind of, we have to look to see how they did last year on the test and how they did this year on the test. So this is where a lot of data calculations come in. We're looking to see where did the students grow, did they not grow. The cut points for highs and lows. So now we have highs and lows in did not meet and approaches. Those are new, so that way we can get some extra growth points. The state was trying to, get more growth points for us, for those students who did not pass. So even if they didn't pass last year, but they didn't pass this, and they still didn't pass this year, but they got a little bit better, then we got some growth points for them. Whereas historically, we never did. And then one more time, Juan, for me, please. We also got a second part that is based on House Bill 4545, which is our accelerated instruction. So if a student did not pass last year, but passed this year, we got bonus points, a quarter of a bonus point per student. So each student who passed this year that didn't pass last year, we got 0.25 of a point, and those were just added to your total growth score and growth here.
That's at the high school level?
That's all levels.
Across the
levels, and reading.
With the exception of
grade,
third grade. With the exception of third grade.
Okay, with the exception of third grade.
Not third grade,
Nothing.
fourth and up.
Fourth and, yes, because you have to have tested 2
Oh,
consecutive
yeah,
years.
okay, you are correct, okay.
So student progress, there's no change in student progress as of right now. It's just your STAR score versus your economically disadvantaged, which of course we know our students, we sit at about an average of an 82. EcoDis, so we'll just create, TA is going to create a chart, and that's where we would see, that's what we don't know. That's one that we don't know yet. And then of course it is the overall better score of 2A, which was the growth, and 2B, that will determine your domain 2 score. Closing the gaps, which is domain 3. There it is. It did transition to a 0 to 4 awarded points. So this is where Ms. Young, when you said a little bit earlier, that we weren't getting approaches, they have to be at meets for this. All of this has to be done at meets, because this is more of our federal government. So everybody has to be at meets. So it's depending on growth in all of our different subpops to see where we fell. And so depending on if we grew a little bit, we might get 1 point. If we grew a little bit more than a little bit, we might get 2. If we met our target, we're at a 3. And if we met our long-term target, which is like 2030, then we got 4 points.
Now, this is for the subpopulations?
Yes. So this is going to be like your EcoDis, your.
Okay, so let's say one of our economic disadvantaged students did not pass science high school in 2022, but passed it in 2023. We're going to get credit for closing the gap?
No, this is just for reading and math.
Oh, it's only reading math.
So, but if that scenario was reading, if that was reading,
Yeah, that would be the case.
yes.
All right, okay, good, okay.
Yes. So it used to be, historically, it was just you either got the point or you didn't. With this, there's, they're giving you a little bit more points if possible if you got the growth measure. And then, of course, give me one more time. There it is. The creation of the supergroup, which is looking at our emerging bilinguals, our special education, our EcoDis, and our highly mobile, which is our foster care, homeless, migrant. Those students were this is a focus group. So we had 10 out of all of these students, which of course our EcoDis is 82%. So right away we met the threshold on that one. Those were kind of the focus supergroup, they call them. So the question is, how will CCISD get rated, right? How will the district get rated? So the district is going to, historically, before the refresh, the district was rated like a super high school, right? With the CCMR. So now, that's not going to happen. Now what it is going to be, we're going to hit it one real quick. Yes. So the district domain ratings are calculated using proportionality method. So as you can see here, of course we have more than 1,307 students, but these are the students that are eligible to take a STAR test. So from grades 3 all the way through 12, this year there was 1,307. So then we took by campus how many of those students actually took the STAR test, and we just divided. So at Zavala there was 129 at Snapshot. So we just divide up 129 by 1307. So 9%, let's say 10% of our score is going to come from Zavala. 20% of our score is going to come from Benito Juarez. 28% is going to come from Sterling, and 42% of our score is going to come from Crystal City High School. And that's going to be where we're going to get our rating. So based on each of the individual domains per campus, they're going to multiply that number by this number right here. And then at the end, we're just going to add them up, and that's how we're going to get our rating.
Question. So this has been approved by TA or the state, it's final.
Yes.
CAA and USDE. This specific, or that specific one was specifically the USDE, because they have to come from.
I think the accountability manual has another week to go before it becomes fully final. That's why, we're still working with preliminary numbers.
Can we get a copy of that, sir? Can I get it one?
We're gonna get our letter grades pretty quick, right?
September 30th, I believe, that's the.
You expect,
When we took the what-if report that we presented to you all in June, so this is how we scored in accountability year 2022 and fed them into the new methodology, the district would have gone from a B to a C. So we're hoping that will hold true, even though we know that we've got some gaps, especially in the elementary campuses, that may not have met their mark in reading and math. So, but they're very close. And we have to wait. We're working on domain 3 to make sure that we get the best out of the 4-point transition table by group that are going to be considered.
but by when?
Oh, September.
September.
Late September.
I think that's what I was gonna ask, when we got the grade.
The final, the ratings.
The 30th, the September 30th.
Okay.
So we still have a month to go.
We still have a month, right?
Yes.
Yes, because that's still open to public comment, the manual, and that closes, I believe, on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, on the 1st. And then from there, they take recommendations from the.
But absolutely no doubt, every single campus, every single administrator and teacher are working diligently to close gaps. In that I have complete faith and trust in.
I have a question, if I understand correctly, if I was informed correctly, this month, September, parents will be able to go into the parent portal
It's
and
actually
get the
available.
It's available
actual
already.
specific scores for their
Yeah, that's
children.
available already.
But our
Oh, no, I'm not
parents are
talking
telling
about
me
the
they
general
can't
score.
get in.
Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. I'm not talking about just the general score they passed or not. I'm talking about specific scores, question by question, all that stuff will be September 1st.
No, that's already available.
That's already
available as of April 11th. So there might be some issues, but it's not really an issue on the district. They just need to have to get with they have to call the office here, in each campus and get their TSDS number, that 9-digit number that
Okay, maybe
they say.
that's right.
I've had some calls about that, and they said they couldn't get in.
Yeah, they have to just get that TSDS number, and then they go to that website and then ask for that number and their birthday, and then
And they can access.
Because my daughter went in there this August, and she just got a general pass or no pass. That's it. They told her that come September 1st, then she'll be able to go in there.
Correct.
And get the actual specific scores.
That might be I wanted to look. As far as I understood, it was on the 11th they were going to get the preliminary just pass or fail, and then on the 18th was the day that they were supposed to. But I can look at it.
Of September or August?
August.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Possibly?
Because I know it's already been released. Like
Possibly.
the state released their the question
Right.
percentages,
The
the
tests.
state and everything. So the test has been released. And,
So, Ms. Briones, you're saying that the district could go from a B to a C.
Yes,
But that does not rule out an IR campus, right?
for sure. No, we don't know that.
These just don't look good to me. They look very,
Mr. Moreno, I got my daughter. I was able to see her scores and everything on her.
yeah, I know you just need to come. And then if not, there's a code that we're getting from the state that's supposed to be delivered this week. That'll be mailed out to the parents, and that'll be the specific code that they need.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. Okay, ma'am, your report, is there anything?
We don't have anything. We don't have,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's the first week
Yeah.
of school, so, next month.
Well, how about it, just a general report on how was the first day?
In terms of just the first day, it went really well. We visited all the campuses. The cabinet was at the campuses this morning. I personally went to every campus this morning. Everything seemed to be smooth everywhere, so. Unless the principals have something specific to report, I think that we had a very successful first day of school. Notwithstanding traffic, because that one lane closure, it's out of our control, but we have enough police presence out patrolling. But in terms of the campuses, I think we all had a good day.
I think it's a good idea, ma'am. You allow them 2 minutes per campus.
Where we at? Ms. Padman, let's start with you. First day?
It went really well. Again, the traffic, although compared to last year, the traffic went, I know there were issues, but for us, DTR, the traffic was actually a lot smoother compared to last year. Last year, we were there till after 5:15, and we still had kids left over. This year, it was 4:23, and the last child had gone. So traffic-wise, it went okay. Student-wise, I think the students did very well, and also, except the pre-K 3 kids, since it's their very
It's their first year, yes.
but for the most part, they were happy.
Yes, sir. No, I mean?
And everybody likes the longer lunch break? No?
It's just it pushed our
Managing,
schedules.
yeah.
So there's a lot of having to, kind of.
Adjust.
accommodate, and so.
We're still trying to figure
Yeah,
that
we're
out.
still trying to figure it out.
Even like right now, that's what we're working on, the schedule. It's too long of a break for our students, and we don't have enough staff to kind of push them here or there. They can't be more than, they finish eating with.
Their attention span is
Right.
limited, yeah.
And so.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
15 minutes, and what do you do for the rest of the time?
And for us, like, the way it went today, either I'm gonna have people have their lunch starting at 10 a.m. Because you have to have everybody, it's all hands on deck when it comes to lunch duty, because they're little, you know, they sit down and eat, but someone has to open their cartons of milk.
Oh, yeah, at your grade level, it's yeah.
Someone has to open every, their silverware, someone has to assist them, especially the little ones. So, I had initially just one person there, and they were like, no, this isn't gonna work, miss, so we kind of pushed everybody's lunch till after 1 p.m. So the way we're gonna run it tomorrow now, some people are gonna have lunch at 10, and then some people are gonna have lunch, after 1:30. So,
We may not be able to accommodate the 45-minute lunch.
Yeah.
it's what the students
Yeah.
need to make sure they're having, that their schedules, their day flows smoothly, and that they have their lunch and the kids' safety, so. And of course, the longer day is harder on our little ones.
Yeah.
Because they're very tired already.
Yeah.
So, and I know it doesn't seem like that, 15 minutes, but, you know, with a big 4 or 5-year-old, it does make a big difference.
And that is a long day for little.
Our dismissal was the same. I anticipated being there a long time, however, it went well for us. We did implement the car tags, and that's what slowed us down a lot more. We don't know all the parents, and we want to make sure that safety always comes first. So we were there until maybe at the latest 4:25, and we stayed longer than that. Last year, when we were dismissing last year, we stayed until like 5:30 almost. So it was a whole lot better this year, our dismissal.
Those are our only principals today.
Can I share?
Yes, sir. That's Karen.
I had first.
And as an instructor at the high school today, we had some issues también. Apparently, there's 2 ACs that are out.
Right.
So that kind of, they moved me to another classroom, so it kind of got chaotic. We're trying to place students and
Right.
stuff like that, so hopefully we can get that looked
Yeah,
at
we
soon.
debriefed about those 2 units this morning.
Just be honest, I had a question. I mean, at the junior high, with our issue with the bats, supposedly.
Not today.
Huh?
Not today.
No, that the smell is there,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
that, some kids and teachers were complaining about it today.
I didn't, Ms. Flanagan didn't report, but I was at junior high this morning. And yes, the smell is there. But we have a crew working tonight They're trying to get us, they're having a hard time getting those bats out of the attic. Jesse and I and Juan met with the team that is out here. So hopefully tonight they'll be able to.
I mean, pues if it
A lot of them
doesn't
out.
happen or get clean, maybe we gotta start thinking about maybe housing them elsewhere because.
Well, we're bringing the resolution to you all on Friday to start moving what they call it, excluding the bats from junior high. We're bringing that resolution to you all on Friday.
Okay, and informational items,
Unless you all have any questions?
we have Zavala County Appraisal District Report, Business Office Report, Food Service Report, CCISD Police Department Report,
We don't.
Booster Clubs, financial statements, and legal fees.
The booster clubs were not in here, right, Anna?
No, they were not. I haven't been active. Starting.
Maybe on this one.
Monday.
When is the food department people gonna provide you with their menu for the week or the month, or
Sarah already has it.
you have a copy?
Yes, we'll email it. Anna will email you a copy of the August menu. You're asking for August or September, or for both?
No, if you already have the September, I mean,
Well, the truant officers ought to bring a lot of, that ought to be a big asset to the
Yes.
Yeah.
Ms. Briones, who's gonna be in charge of the booster clubs?
The principals are in charge of
The
it.
principals, okay, still, okay. And, on the police department report, Chief Rios, I just wanted to, thank you for going above, and beyond for the band. Sending somebody out there to help them cross. Hopefully we'll get those dots done soon so that we don't have that liability anymore. But I appreciate, I believe it's Mr. Lopez. I was telling the board that he was there, in the afternoon, late afternoon, and then again in the morning, so I guess it was still his shift. So me as a band parent, as a board member, as a band parent, I really appreciate it that there's somebody out there, because it's really dark in between the parking lot and the Benito Juarez. I mean, it's just too dark, and I really hope that we get those jobs finished so that we don't have that liability anymore. So thank you. And I just wanted to add también this morning, I guess it was at the high school, I mean, traffic is moving along pretty quick. Why? Because an officer was there. Because yes, we have a cross guard, but I think if the officer has a little bit more
presence and
presence.
flowing of the vehicles and.
Or at the high school?
At the high school.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
so maybe,
thought I was gonna be-
on seven, share with us what you saw today or how you're.
Yeah, it was a little bit of, there was traffic, but I did talk to the foreman of the construction, and they will start later. They will start about 8:30 in the morning. So that's gonna help us out, opening those 2 lanes, because that was the problem this morning. That was it, and then there was some traffic at the Zavala Elementary and Benito, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, we kind of got it moving. There were some threats from Laredo all the way down to Harlingen, and I spoke to the chief of police there in Laredo, and he did tell me that they received 40+ threats all the way down from Laredo to Harlingen to all those little border towns, but nothing over here. DPS, the Sergeant DPS Guzman, that's in charge of over here, they called me, and we kind of communicated back and forth, and he said we're clear around this area, but you never know, so we're on our toes.
ask you a question, sir. The traffic flow for when you're coming to Benito Juarez from 7, is it 1 lane or 2 lanes?
It's a 2-lane.
2 lanes.
It's a 2-lane. Actually, today it was 3 lanes. But it's actually
No, today was,
3-4 lanes, but yeah.
there was 3 lanes.
Well, actually, what happened is it's a 2-lane, but tomorrow we're gonna talk to Benito, and see if they can just have 1 drop off or pick up and get it all to the left side. What was happening is they wanted to get to this side and then on the right side and then through the middle. But the left side's gonna be for Benito, middle's gonna be for Zavala, and then the right side is gonna be DTR. And we're working on something with the back, to see we can open up the back and have something in the back where DTR can go all the way around. Yeah.
I think I saw on Keep Crystal City Informed, you're still enforcing the bags that are taken into games and You're still following those where,
Administration is enforcing whatever it is that they're enforcing but we're assisting them with whatever the policy is.
yeah.
The street that goes between the city yard and the Barito, who does that belong to?
The city.
City. We already had a conversation.
We've had that.
I met with them and trying to work something out with them.
Any other comments, questions? All right, let's go to item 11, adjournment. Is there a motion?
I move.
Motion made by member Nora Guerrero to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Made by member Houston. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Wait, discussion, questions, concerns?
All in favor?
Wait,
Raise your hand.
I have a question.
For adjournment?
No,
Questions related to
before
adjournment?
adjournment. If we said, and I think,
Agenda
was it
item.
Nora that to add,
Right.
if we had any things for the following meeting? It's not here, I mean, we can do it, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Not that I,
Agenda was.
not that I have, but sometimes I have it and.
All in
Mayor,
favor of
items.
adjournment, raise your hand. 4, 5, 6. Those against?
No,
Motion passes unanimously 7-0. But you are correct, sir.